You are now logged in to GovSales University. This is Stephen Bryan, the Dean of Admissions at GSU. So today we're going to log in and take a look at Chapter 5. This is the other 80% of how the government buys. If you tuned in last time, we talked about the 20% of the spending that goes through the bid and RFP process. This is the other 80%. So it's a 10 video course. You can see down here about a half hour long. And I'm going to go give you a quick overview of each way as Jack covers it throughout the courses. So the first one goes into sole source. What's this mean? It means that you are the only company that provides what the agency is looking for. And this is a lot of paperwork on the back end that the companies do themselves to prove that they are the sole source justification letter that the agency can review and check that box. Going into video 2, chapter 5, this is piggybacking. Now, not sure how many people have heard about piggybacking. It definitely cuts down on the time of acquisition. We always talk about it takes 6 months, 12 months to get a contract. Well, if you have a deal already in place, like you've been awarded a contract, you can have specific language written in there that allows another agency, it might have to be within the same area, same state, but they can also follow that same procurement laws and procedures and buy what you have at that pre-negotiated price. So it saves them a lot of paperwork, which they love, and helps you expedite that deal. Third one here is discretionary spend. So discretionary spend, I would say it's the amount someone can spend at any time. They could have a limit. It could be daily, weekly, monthly, whatever that limit is, but it just helps them expedite the process. So you can say, hey, Steve, you could spend $3,000 a month. I don't have to go check with anybody. If I need to buy ink, toner, paper, regular office supplies, I have to go through this laborious process to get what I need. On to video 4, P cards. What is a P card? Credit card. It's just a different terminology that government agencies use, and it is their credit card that they can use for spending. Again, limit similar to discretionary spend. 5, socioeconomics and set-asides. So what that means is that there are designated funds, and this is especially tied to grants when states or local government receive federal funding, but they want to make sure that everyone stands a fair chance with the competitive solicitation, not just letting these big companies win all the time. So if you are a small business, one of the most popular types of set-asides, they will designate a certain part of that budget that says, hey, even if you're a sub or prime, you must include this percentage, like 20%, towards a small business. And those regulations definitely vary by state. Could be number of employees you have or number or amount of total revenue to make sure that you are guaranteed, well, not you, but a business that meets that classification, hopefully you, to get that job and those funds. Number 6 here is the GSA schedule. So I'm not sure how many people have heard about it. It's big in the federal world. The GSA schedule, the way I look at it, it's like going grocery shopping. Going down your aisles, you see something on the shelf. It's like, oh, there's a cereal aisle. I want to go get my Lucky Charms. Grab that. Or I want to grab my Frosted Flakes and grab that. So the GSA schedule, picture a bunch of shelves if you're going down an aisle, has all these different products, typically commodities, things that are bought over and over again, and you put your best price. It's normally at a discounted price because it's very easy for the federal agencies to buy, so it eliminates all that work. But again, you have to make it favorable for those agencies that make sure they want to buy from you. Going down to the state contract, similar to GSA schedule, how the Fed, creates this system. GSA Advantage is one of the sites if you want to go take a look and see who's on there. But the state contract is designated, same similar type of schedule with the state. So the commodities will vary state by state, but every state contract, I guarantee, is going to have a paper supplier. Every state contract is going to have a tire supplier. All the police vehicles out there on the road go through all the tires, burning rubber. So it's a pre-negotiated rate that you say, all right, I'm good with this for 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, depending on the terms of the state contract, that you're locked into that price. And you can put stipulations for negotiation if oil prices go up and that affects the cost of rubber, which will affect the cost of tires. You understand where I'm going with this. So you can say, okay, after a year we can revisit depending on market demands. Now going down to 8, co-ops. So this can be set up by agencies. I know E&I, big contract in the education space, or it could be set up by organizations. Some are for profit, some are not for profit. So do your research. There's probably 100 out there, 30 big co-ops, and it's similar to what we mentioned before with state contracts or state schedules, as well as the GSA schedule, where it's something that's pre-negotiated, but again, it expedites the purchasing cycle. No more waiting around, no more long drawn out processes. If you're on that schedule, they can just pick you, buy it, and then move on with their life. Those deals can be done in a couple days. Going on to simplified quotes and e-quote. This is where there's a certain threshold, monetary value. They say, hey, you have to at least get 3 solicitations. And you can go out there, just get your 3 quotes. Typically, they call people they worked with before. If they have a couple of vendors, if they need a new one, they'll go out and find someone online and just make sure that box is checked, and then they can award who they want to. And then the last one here, number 10, that's just a review of everything I cover. Again, I'm just giving you high-level summaries here, but if any of these topics interest you, go to govsalesuniversity.com, and I'll be sure to help you out. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.